All right, we are live. Andrew Seeley is with me at the International Builders Show. Welcome, everybody. We got a show for you today. We got all kinds of good stuff to show here, huh?
Hey, Dave. IBS 2023. Here we go.
IBS 2023. How's the show been for you so far?
It's amazing. It's kind of big.
It is kind of big.
A lot
it's
of
huge.
Time, but it's worth it. It's amazing. The people, what's going on, all the materials.
Right.
Incredible.
It is incredible. I'm going to look at my phone every once in a while, see if I can get the chat up in here, but these metal roofs kind of hurt us on that. All right, everybody, we're in Las Vegas, the International Builder Show 2023. It has been packed. I mean, so packed, the lines just to get out of here. People staying all day long. We wouldn't be here without some of our great sponsors, so a big shout out to ECI Solutions for everything that they're doing to help all of us build it better with all the technology they have. And Mercer Mass Timber is a new sponsor for us this year, and we're going to walk down here and see them in just a second. So how cool is it, Andrew, that we get to come out here and showcase what's happening for those that can't make it?
Yeah, it's really important that you can do this, bringing the message, showing what's happening, all the new stuff, all the continuation from the old stuff. It's just incredible. Mercer Mass Timber.
It is incredible. So why don't we walk down there? Vince is going to go in front of us here. Vince, why don't you start walking down to Mass Timber, and we'll talk a little bit about what we see to the left and right. I mean, this is a Laura Spectrum. Looks like they got all kinds of siding and things of that nature. So I think the show overall, this is the last day, and it's really, I mean, it's still a lot of people here.
Yep.
We had a pros and cons versus stick-built versus building systems this morning. It was a panel that I did and got to moderate. And there was a couple hundred people that showed up for it at 8:30 in the morning on the last day. That's super exciting, right?
It's a big topic.
Yeah, big topic. So, absolutely. So what are you showing there? SRS Distribution, the American Dream. We got Zonda coming up on the left in front of us here. And then I think Mercer Mass Timber is just a little bit further down, but you know what? It's kind of fun. For those that aren't here, we figured we'd give you a little bit of an inside look at what's going on here at the show. You'll be able to see all the cool technology, people learning. What's the biggest thing you've seen at the show so far that you like?
Well, I've spent a lot of time trying to catch up with the social side, so I'm seeing all the folks that we follow on LinkedIn, and Instagram. I'm seeing some new products. Startup Zone, Be Public. Some of your folks were out there. So I think it's a big show with a lot of, you can really see the trend coming where, off-site, mass timber, a lot of the new technologies.
Well,
it's pretty exciting.
You're absolutely right. This is the first year that we have had so many different conversations and demonstrations about off-site and building systems on the main floors at the International Builders Show. So that should tell you something right there.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really, really is amazing. So we're super excited about that. We've been working really hard to get our community front and center and to showcase all this great stuff. Look at all the stone, right? Even the products like the stone, everything has come so far.
And the displays.
Yeah. Look at him. He's really getting it for you. Vince must like some tile. That's the guy behind the scenes. All right, we're going to go straight ahead there. Vince, there's Mercer Mass Timber. Why don't you show some of their display and what they have going on, and then we're going to walk right in. I love Mass Timber. What's your thoughts on Mass Timber?
Oh, man. It's such an exciting part of the industry. I think in Europe it's been around for a long time, hasn't it, Dave? And we're getting it over here, everything from small startups, different parts of the U.S. to the bigger groups that have been here for a long time. And
yeah, for sure. Absolutely,
got
for sure.
Our CLT display here.
Right. There is a CLT display here. We should be seeing some other people here in just a second, but look how busy everything is. So what in the world do you think is the future of mass timber in your mind?
I think it's to me, it's the most exciting part of the wood that we have. Wood's a great material. We're familiar with it in so many ways, but not so much the mass timber. So CLT, we can build faster with it. It's healthier. We're sequestering carbon. We don't have to worry about it being unhealthy.
Right.
It's quick, it's structurally sound, doesn't burn easily.
It does not burn. That's the big misconception a lot of
understand.
people have about it,
it's
right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's natural. Like it's pretty amazing. I think it's the most exciting part of the change that we're seeing here in the U.S. with having access to those things.
And we're going to see a lot of change like this. With Mercer getting into it, they have the largest processing timber facility in the world in Germany. Their headquarters out of Canada. That's impressive that they're doing this.
Well, it's a big market in the U.S. and we need to be using it, right, Dave? I mean, we need to understand this as designers and builders and consumers. We need to understand that we have this option. It's really showing up in the marketplace.
Right.
I think it's the most exciting part of the wood industry.
It is. So let's see, who do we have standing around back here? Oh, we got Todd Beyreuther. We got Tim Sims back there. Todd, how are you? Andrew, let me grab that mic from you there for a minute. So Andrew was walking around with us on the way in, doing a tour. So have you met Andrew before?
Well, just on your LinkedIn shows,
Yeah. So Andrew was just kind of plugging the value and benefits of mass timber. So it was kind of fun,
Thanks for bringing it. We need it.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing going.
It is the biggest thing going.
Love to hear that. Thank you.
So, all right, Andrew, we're going to split off here. So thank you for joining us. Love it. All right. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with Mercer. You're here in the United States. You got the largest CLT manufacturing facility in the United States, and you're really, really familiar with it. And here you are, dusting it off, and brought Mercer in.
Yeah, no, we're excited to be at IBS because, for those of you in the mass timber world, we're known for large buildings, right? And that's still bread and butter. Let's go commercial, industrial, steel and concrete, post and beam. And I want to introduce you over time here to my colleagues on our construction side, on our project side, that are experts in that. But we wanted to come to IBS not only to introduce Mercer, to the world, but also to evaluate and get into these new markets where we're relevant in housing and in the missing middle typology and so forth. So that's what we're really trying to get from here is introduce the product, but also get lots of feedback that you can only do at this kind of show.
Sure. So the missing middle is a term we're hearing a lot about nowadays, and I have to tell you, it's a real thing. So how do you achieve hitting that missing middle?
Yeah. I think mass timber is a big part of it, and we're in the state of Washington, so we're on the east side of the state, but we have huge markets of Seattle and Tacoma, and then also all the way down to California. And the state of Washington alone, is projecting that the legislature needs 1 million housing units by 2040.
Right.
And the question becomes, well, how do you do that? How do you scale? How do you build? How do you literally do that and in sync with all of the zoning and other requirements that are needed? So the missing middle is really, between that typology of that 5/1, right, where you have the apartments, the 5-6 stories,
right?
We can push mass timber, to 8 to 12 and 18 to be relevant in that mid-rise, but we also need to push down and be able to be competitive and be able to deliver, on townhomes, on cottage homes, on these, all of these attached typologies and flats. Yeah.
So 12 to 18 stories out of timber. That's not something that the average person realizes is even possible or they may be concerned with, right? Talk to us about the structural integrity of how you guys design and build your system.
Yeah, it's been the heavier lift to introduce mass timber to the market, and there have been a lot of people in the trenches on this, developing the codes and standards over the last 10 years. Getting the jurisdiction acceptance, and a lot of that focus has been on, can we go higher, because that's the harder problem, right? Can we get to 2-hour fire ratings so that we get to, that security that we have? And the mass part, is important. The mass is actually referencing the fire performance. When you have massive wood, it chars predictably in a fire condition. It's like a log burning as opposed to kindling.
But you can't burn a log by itself; it won't start fire.
Yeah,
right?
It's starting with a match. Now, eventually, you'll get it burning, but when it does, we can tell the fire officials, the fire departments, how it behaves in a very predictable way.
Right.
So that's the mass part for the building code. What we're trying to do, in addition to that, is now take that material. Once you have that, and you have that ability to do these big panels, and then the fun part is the subtractive piece.
Right.
And so for the show, we really wanted to display, you wouldn't do this in a building, but we really want to show off and say how, what you can do with the capabilities of these milling
I'm
machines.
going to grab it, right? Let's just grab a piece and show it. Here, hold that and make sure you keep it up. So, I mean, walk us through what we're looking at here, and I'll hold it up to the camera. Is that good, Vince? Give me a nod, yeah? So, what are we showing here other than a really cool big piece of Vegas dice? You should have turned these into Vegas dice, right?
We do have it. It's for the fun part. We have. So mass timber is a category where we have the traditional glue lam. We're taking laminations of wood and then gluing them. Glue lam is in the same direction. Cross-laminated timber is laying them up perpendicular layers.
It's crisscross, as my kids would say.
3-ply, 5-ply, 7, 9-ply.
Right.
So it really stabilizes the material, makes it really good for floor diaphragms, roof diaphragms, walls, so forth.
I mean, listen, this is a solid piece. I mean, it's so beautiful.
It's kind of satisfying to
it is.
Yeah.
You could just rub it on your face and just chill with it. I wouldn't use it as a pillow. Let's talk about some of the benefits of building with, mass timber, because you see it all through Europe. It is not something that's here and there. It's pretty much every project, at least the ones that I've been on in the last couple of years being over there.
Sure.
Why has it been so adopted?
Well, it's when you think about the manufacturing facility, instead of laying up lots of little pieces and sticks and so forth, and this is compatible with those systems, but when we look at this, it's a very automated system to, we've said this before, 3D print.
Right.
A 12-foot by 60-foot panel, up to 12 inches deep if we wanted to. This one's about 6, of course. But then once we've done that very automated process, then we shift to the subtractive piece. And now that's where we really get to tie into the milling machines, the kind of advanced manufacturing, the modeling that the next generation just learns inherently. All the architects, the engineers, and if they can model it, then we can get to a 1 millimeter tolerance with our saw blades and the milling machines, and that's the fun part.
Well, so the tolerance is, I had the privilege of being on stage with this in the Performance Construction Zone with Ben Bogey, who's a contributor to Fine Home Building. He's also a big advocate of, passive house and energy efficient building techniques. And we were putting this together for the show, and it was zero tolerance.
Yeah, we didn't even put the tolerance on. We just were. There
was zero tolerance, and it went together. As smooth and like a piece of steel. Yeah. It just slid right in. I'm not seeing any crowns, Todd.
No.
We don't have to worry about crowns with this lumber, right?
And that's it's a very satisfying. And we've in our display here, we're introducing and trying to get feedback on how would you build with it.
Right.
We're showing studs and posts and so forth, but really, because we have that flexibility and subtractive, how would you do it? Can you minimize the number of parts in a framing wall?
Yeah.
Can you go from 25 to 7, right? Can you go from 100 nails to 6 screws? And what would that mean to your process? And so it's really an open question of different values for different.
So you touched on that, right? Let's talk about it. Mass timber traditionally was big, large timber walls, made of the same material, maybe just not as thick. But now you guys are actually milling this into almost a framing pattern, similar to Site Built is going, but with so much more structural integrity to it. Walk us through the value there.
Yeah, so the thought process on this is we can always do a solid wall, and that there are a lot of applications where that makes sense or that's desired.
Right.
But if we're trying to be relevant, and more attainable housing, we have to be realistic that we need to move some of that material out of there. That we want to start with the all-in and be able to subtract out till we get to the appropriate engineering properties or performance properties, energy properties. So that's where it becomes interesting, that you don't start and just go build up with a minimal number, opposed to you start with all in and work your way down.
Yeah. Why don't we step back in here a little bit? Look, we got some fan base over there. It's always fun. And we'll kind of show, we can come on over here and show some of the walls as well, right? Vince, what I want to show is so here's, what are we looking at on these? We're looking at a timber section. This is what I was talking about. I'll go behind you here. When we're looking at traditional framing, similar.
Yep.
Right? So walk us through what we're seeing. I guess this is a window opening?
Yep, this is a window opening. So if you pan just to the left here, we've started with the solid wall on the end. That's the all-in, and then traditionally in more heavy timber structures, it's common, especially in Europe, to cut out the windows or the doors and have that really tight tolerance. And so that's fine, but of course you're wasting this piece here, right? And so that starts to decrease your efficiency. So the concept here is, well, maybe we can get, take this material, and then on our 12 by 60 foot press, someone wants a 48 by 8 foot section.
Right.
What can we do with the rest of that material? It still has the same high performance properties, 10% moisture.
Right.
Can we start to make other framing elements to replace bundled studs? And so when we look at, especially advanced framing lines where, we're building sub-assemblies that may be 2 or 3 bundled studs, those are always the pinch points in the pulse on the assembly line. So can we maybe start to replace some of those components with subtractive pieces?
Well, by building stronger and better and smarter in the way you lay your lumber, and we'll talk about that, how you run your grains. But Vince, if you could step back a little bit, I want to explain this setup, right? So in a house, if everybody's out there and they're looking at this, this is the floor.
Yep.
This whole piece. So imagine this, your entire floor. How big can you make the floor system?
That could be a full 12 by 60 foot piece if you had a way to move it around.
12 feet wide by 60 feet in length. So that's your floor, and then your stud walls here that you've tied in, right? And then obviously you have your framing for your headers and so forth here. So the strength of that is unbelievable.
Yep.
Right? And then it's the same thing. What we're looking at above the header is the floor above now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
And one of the concepts here is that maybe it's not all in on CLT when we get into framing lines. Maybe you're mixing it with 2 by lumber and so forth. But one of the challenges we've had in the past with framing lines is mixing different manufacturers, different a Southern Yellow Pine header and a SPF stud, and as we start to put sheathing on there, we're adjusting our nail guns, and a lot of these automated lines don't have that ability to do that. So even the little things like that just add that consistency of one supplier, uniform material. It's kind of interesting to us.
And and it comes out so precise. So what does that mean to everybody out there? If you're a framer and you're looking for a different way to frame a home, right? You can do more with less. Right? There's less opportunity for mistakes to happen in the field. There's more opportunity to do more because you need less labor, because labor's been an issue for a lot of the framers and the systems folks that are out there doing things. And I think there's a lot of value in a system like this that's just not the product itself. It's the life cycle of where it starts and how it gets installed, and then all the way through the end.
No, it's very true. And
I know, I was looking, everybody disappeared on us.
Yeah, right. I was looking for my colleague, but our project lead, so we've established a project team up in Vancouver, and it's not just all wood, it's integrating the product with cold form steel studs, with heavy steel framing, and this hybridization is just as promising as an all-in mass timber solution. Yeah.
And so how do you run wire? Do you cover this with sheetrock? Like how does that all work?
Yeah, there's a lot of strategies. In traditional heavy timber, we're often framing walls and running conduit, fire suppression and so forth in between or mounting right on the surface. But as we get more into the housing typologies, of course, where we have to be a little more clever about either routing it in, and that's a possibility, and we see that quite a bit.
Sure.
And then covering.
And we got some over here we can walk over. Let's walk over here, Vince. I want you to show. Just go ahead in front of me. Follow Todd, and let's show that TV screen because it's also showing the process. But I want to show the wood behind it as well. So if you could do that. So I mean, these are routed out pieces.
Yep, these are solid 6-inch pieces.
And what would we route them out for?
Well, normally we
demonstration here. I understand,
demonstration here, but as you can see on the ceiling, those could represent penetration holes, and that's the beauty of it. We're going to that level of coordination with MEP that we are doing that in the factory, and all of the holes, all the routing, and of course for the show we've routed it out to an extreme. The panel above you is about 40-some feet long, 8 feet in FE wide. That took 8 hours to mill, so you wouldn't do that on a normal project, but it's great to demonstrate the capabilities.
What it can do. Yeah. So what's the future looking like for you guys now? I mean, here you've opened your doors, production's up and building. Who's your customer, I guess?
So right now the main customer is those bigger projects, those bigger mid-rise type projects where we work with a team in a more traditional design bid build process, or more and more design build. but it's their architectural design, their engineering design, and as we bring them into the factory, they learn our process more and more. And then complementing that is now moving into this more prefabrication. And as you've been an advocate for, that systems-based where we bring key partners in and really teach them, our DFMA, our design for manufacturing assembly, so that we can collectively find more of that optimization and develop their library, their kit of parts that are more repeatable.
Sure. Sustainability, it's a big part of what you guys do. Walk us through just a little bit about the sustainability and how we're getting to that carbon neutral side of life that everybody's talking about, the new codes that are coming out.
Yeah, and sometimes it's so inherent in our product that we almost forget to talk about it, that's the key driver, that's the why. And we're seeing that more and more even with the ESG investors of why they would be interested in this product, because they are looking for the ability to sequester and store carbon. And that's really the proposition, that unlike any other structural material, not only the forests obviously storing carbon and so forth, but if we can use that material and put it into a building for 100 years, we've helped now create that leg so that and then that's the sequestration part. That's really unique about this. And in that case, when that's your strategy, the more, the massive, the better. Yeah.
Well, that's it, right? The more you use, the better it is. It works in your favor versus other products that are out there. So we had somebody else. We had a fine talking English lad somewhere around it.
He's working right now.
He's working. All right. See, that's one thing we will not ever do on our show is disrupt business. So how's the show been for you so far?
Oh, it's been great. And I think it's across the board been good to rally our team. Right. And it's not just obviously the potential partners and clients, but also find the synergies with all the other component manufacturers. Right. So it is relevant to us to meet with the window manufacturers and to meet with the other components on how they would envision, putting their plumbing through, putting their fire suppression right next door through. So.
And everything else. Perfect. What are you looking forward to most about this show? I mean, we're on day 3. It's almost over. Yeah. Is there anything unexpected that happened?
I think, that not validation, but just that feedback is so important, because it's that what don't you know? Right. Sure. We know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So.
Well, I love it. So, Todd, is there anything that I didn't say or talk about, or anything you want to share with the audience before we move on?
We appreciate the time, and you're always welcome. Please come visit us in Spokane, Washington, and visit this facility. And then, because we're such a emerging technology, that's a collective we. The story really still has to be written. So.
Well, we appreciate you letting us help write it, right? Yeah. We want to get it out there. I love this product and everything.
We take 30 seconds to introduce.
Well, listen, the best accent in the whole place here. How are you doing? Let me grab that from you. All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you want to hold that? You
hold it, Dave, please.
Tell us a little bit about who you are. We're talking out here to the clients. So I'm going to do a little bit of telling. How many buildings, mass timber buildings, have you been part of building?
Since about 2005, I would say about between 350 and 400.
Come on! That's a whole lot of buildings.
Well, there's a lot in the UK and across the world. Right. And the biggest one I'm really proud of is more recently was the Nanyang Technical University in Singapore, which is about 14,500 cube of glulam and CLT.
So, tell everybody who you are and what you do first.
All right, so Nick Milestone from the UK. I'm very humble. I was born and raised on construction sites, masters in project management, commercial management. I had a fantastic career becoming the managing director of the UK's largest steel and mass timber construction business. And I just love being this side of the world because it's exciting, it's pioneering, and its growth is exponential.
Well, I heard you say that yesterday when we stopped by, that, around the world, mass timber has really been adopted and it is going up everywhere, and that the United States is just in the beginning stages of what's to come if we're following what the rest of the world's seeing.
Right. So if we look at the global market, Europe has always been the longest player in the market since the early 2000s. Yeah. And the growth rate has been exponential in the first 7 years, slow growth. picked up incredibly to a 20-25% growth market for about 10 years, starting to plateau, still around 10% growth per annum. So that's a really, truly sustainable market based on 28 countries, including the UK, and a population of about 900 million. So you park that up as Europe. Then you've got the US market, a third of the size in terms of population, including Canada, you're just shy of 400 million people. But you haven't got the... everything's one here in the UK, in US, in Europe. It's very fragmented with different building codes. So not all countries adopt mass timber. They might be more familiar with concrete or structural steel. Whereas in the US loves timber, full stop, timber frame housing. So this is just a nice evolution. And I believe, well, we've done the analysis between the US and the European market. So the US is probably lagging Europe maybe about 12 years, but it's playing fantastic catch up.
Yeah.
And it's gone through its 7 years of slow growth. It's now going hockey stick. So we always knew around 2023, 2024, we're going vertical. And we're starting to see that growth. We're starting to see that 25% year-on-year growth for the demand for mass timber products. So it's going to be the next sustainable market outside of Europe. If you look at it in the rest of the world, it's spot markets. It's a project here in Vietnam, or a project in Singapore, or a project in the Philippines. We're starting to see slow growth come in Latin America. We're starting to see slow growth come in. We're going through their little 7-year itch in Latin America and South Africa as well. So we're really starting to see the continents embrace it. And what slows that progress is knowledge. It's knowledge to unlock the markets, knowledge and supply. And we need academies, we need legacies coming out of colleges, understanding mass timber, not just steel and concrete. They've really got to understand and embrace it. Yeah. And then that allow it to become a much mature market much faster. But we're accelerated with the factor that BIM is here to stay in the construction industry, because it's all about prefabricated technologies.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. We're embracing BIM. You know, I was on a BIM call this morning. The client's got a federated model. The steel guy, CLT glulam guy, and the MEP guy and the facade guy, we're all working together in one model. Right. This is beautiful. This is what compresses the lead-in times. And this is where we do the clash detection. And well, if it fits in the model, it fits on site. It's quite simple. Right, and that's important, right? The clash detection. You take it's a hybrid approach, using the different materials together, but it's also that team approach. And how you approach doing the structure. You're building the digital twin, the building twice, up front and then on site. So we have in our Vancouver office a team of timber engineers and shop detailers. Blessed that they've all been migrating from Europe. A little disgruntled what's going on, you know, with Brexit and other things, but that's great. To our advantage, they're moving to Canada. So we've created in Vancouver a lovely team of mass timber engineers and shop detailers who know nothing else but BIM. Right. And that's what's unlocking it for us. That's what we need, that to give us the horsepower to feed the factory. Sure. So you love data. Yes, absolutely. You love data. Tell us how important studying the data on these buildings and moving forward is, because that's something new happening in our industry, especially in residential. Yeah, so the commercial contracting world is always a world away from the residential market. There's always been two distinct markets. The data environment that we create is data rich. Yeah. It's not just about the dimensional quality or the data that comes out to feed the factory machines. It's the data of the products themselves. Right. That is in there. It's data rich, it's embedded data, which helps us know how to operate these buildings. Your operations and maintenance manuals are now within the data environment. That's what it's all about. But what we do is we use 3D technology for the factory data to do the CNC, to do the routing out, the service halls and everything. We use the 4D data for predictive cost planning. It's accurate. It's not red pen on a drawing anymore. This is quantities generated out the model, so we can do the costing. But we're starting to do the 5D, which is the scheduling. So we can now embed the model in a schedule. So when you start moving your line on your Gantt chart, you can see exactly where you should be in your construction. I love it. It's there to embrace. And we're embracing it, right? Absolutely. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking a few moments with us. I know you and Todd have been working together for a long time. It's got to be pretty cool, like working at the largest CLT manufacturing facility in the entire United States. Yeah, it's got to be a good feeling. Well, what's exciting and scary at the same time is I reckon within the next 3 to 4 years, the demand in North America is going to completely outstrip the local domestic supply, 100%. Yeah. And we need to start thinking about factory number 2. It's quite simple. Because we need to get ahead of the curve. How come it's not built yet? Oh, we're in the planning. We're in the planning.
Todd, I mean, come on. Shouldn't it be built already? Well, listen, we got to get down and see some other folks. I appreciate you taking a few minutes and telling everybody who you are and what you guys are doing here. You and Todd are an awesome team.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate you. We'll be back to see you, I'm sure. All right, we're going to go this way then, and I'm going to follow Vince out. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, all right.
Dave, is it worth chatting with Brian Moen? He's the big man.
Brian Millen's a big man. Well, I tell you what, how about we'll come back and do an interview? We got some people waiting for us, but I love it. Hi. All right, so perfect. So we're going to go down to the new product zone now. This is going to be a fun place, and we're going to have a special surprise for you because we have somebody that's going to walk us around the new product zone, show us everything that's going on there. Yesterday we did a little bit about the startup zone, but we really couldn't get in there. It was so busy and so packed in. So hopefully we get to the new product zone. It's the same way, but we're going to have a bit of a guided tour. I'm just going to keep talking as we walk our way there. I saw Tim Sims earlier. He must have disappeared on me somewhere. Hopefully we'll run into Tim. Everybody knows Tim and loves Tim, so that was good. And Andrew Seeley ran into us in the beginning. But let's just walk through, take it all in. You can see what's happening here at the show in the Central Hall, and that's where we're at right now is the Central Hall. So just got to watch the traffic a little bit. We got Vista on the left here. We got Facro on the left coming up as well. Check out that stuff. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I love these window walkouts for the roof. And then you got some great ladder pull downs there. This is the type of stuff you find here. One of the other, hey, how are you? One of the other things that we love about this is the unexpected finds. You know, we had Live Free on our show yesterday. Was it yesterday? We were doing a podcast, and it wasn't live. It was here at the show, and they found an airtight doggy door. Right? So if you're in energy efficiency and building and passive house and you got clients that have animals and pets and you want them to let themselves out, well, there you have it. You got an airtight doggy door now, so you don't have to worry about that blower door test as much when you put those in. So walking down here, we got some, looks like just some doors here from San Rafael Solutions. So shout out to them. But here's my favorite and Jen's favorite right there, Genevieve Wine Cellars. So we're going to walk up that way, making our way to the product zone. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all of this. Man, look at that. I want some. We'll get some wine cellars. I bet a lot of you out there enjoy some wine. And Tiplas Group is who we're walking by now. Here we go. Coming into the new product zone. This is going to be exciting. We're going to look for Brian Rosenthal. Is Brian Rosenthal in the house here somewhere?
Brian actually stepped away for a second, but I can definitely shoot him a quick
Yeah,
message.
let him know. He was going to give us a great tour of the product zone.
This, yes.
And yeah, we're running. You know, we get the, well, I should correct it. I get the talking, and then everybody yells at me because we become late. So this is great. So we're still going to walk in and just kind of look around real quick.
I'm going to text him right now.
Yep.
Let him know y'all are here.
Yeah, because we definitely want to see some of the products that are displayed here in the product zone. Vince, you can just kind of walk around and we'll give an overview and just check it out. Yeah, for sure. So, Vince, let's just look at some of this stuff, right? We got Systex here. Looks like a panel solution, water-activated glass fiber wall coverings. I think it's super neat. I wonder what this is here. I have not seen this before. Oh, this is AeroSeal. This is one of my favorite products, by the way. You know, this product right here, AeroSeal, you can fill all the gaps that you don't see in your house. Well, it sends the little particulates through the air when you're doing your testing, and it'll actually find and plug any of the leaking that's happening inside of your house. So AeroSeal is a really, really cool product. That is booth C7916. Let's keep walking down here and just show a couple other things while we're waiting for Brian to come and join us. Looks like we have a gutter guard there, which is great. Guttergate Inc. C3251 is their booth. I don't know. It's kind of making me thirsty. Perfect. All right, let's keep walking by here. Sorry about that. We're running people over. We got Orion Multi 52. Look at all the stuff in the case there. I've not seen the case thing. Got it. All right, let's walk over here. What is Hoover Door? I want to see that. Hoover Door, no support wheels, noise, maintenance, replacement, or electricity. Why don't you hold up right there, Vince? Let me just see what this is all about here. Come try our Maglev patio doors. Wow. Well, I know you guys can't feel and hear and see any of this because I don't feel, hear, or see any of it. That is smooth. This is what they call the Hoover Door. Very, very cool. Let's step back this way and just look over here a little bit. I want to see the glass as well. Oh, man. Look how smooth that is. That's really cool. I love it. I love it. How you doing? Good, good. We got... So, let me just see what we got Typar on the ground here, drain wrap, peel and sticks, C4916, which is great. I keep seeing wine bottles, Jen. I don't know. There might be a sign to come on what we're doing. So, just so everybody understands, this is a showcase, right? All of these products here are on the floor throughout the show that you can go and see. But this is a good way to come in here and just get a quick look at what we have. Sure Tape Technologies, Duck Pro. This is kind of interesting, huh? Stick, scan, and connect. So I guess you can make your own scan stick tape labels for your stuff so you can QR code. That's pretty cool stuff. Let's keep coming down here. There's my wine racks again. Anybody want to join me for some vino? Very cool. I want one of those at our house. We got some new saws in here, IQ Power Tools. Somebody left their Perrier water with that as well. How about this, Vince? We're going to fire us up some barbecue, man. Jen, how come we don't have hot dogs and hamburgers? She's back there laughing. You know she doesn't want to be on this camera. We love it, love it, love it. So, Plunge Arena. Check this out, Plungy. Arena is a stunning architectural design round pole that is designed for lifestyles. Wow, looks like you can just drop it in and fill it up. That's super, super cool. Stone Coat. It's a smooth next generation stucco, a modern two-coat stucco product. So there's all kinds of great stuff. And safety gear. Safety gear is one of the more important things. So here's a DeWalt safety harness that we're seeing in here as well. Look at this, Ephoca. This is a cool product, right? This is stuff that you'll see in Europe. It's a wall-mounted heat pump air conditioner. So maybe we can show a little bit about what that's happening on the screen there. Whisper Quiet. Heats, cools, easy install. 10-year limited warranty. You can read all of that. But look how nice, slim, and sleek this unit is as well. Vince will be able to show that unit in just a second. I think that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. I want to learn more about this as we move forward here. All right, let's walk down this side of the table and see. This is such an easy way to show a bunch of products and new things that's happening here. So let's just keep coming down. We got some Modern Mill. They're in SU 818 is their booth number. So EcoFlex recycled rubber solutions. Oh, that's cool. It's like for the driveway or walkways, things of that nature. MEP system to seal. Look at that. I guess it flexes right around, right? Pipe and wall sealer. That's a really cool product. You know, no more trying to figure out how to cut your tape and get it all sealed in. So that's a really neat product that's happening there as well. So We'll keep walking in. And then you got your camo screw system. You seen anything good, John?
A couple interesting things so far.
What do you think?
No, I'm good.
You're good? He
Yeah,
doesn't.
thanks.
I know it. Yeah. So we got our screw systems. Ames Power PIHY 9600. That's a power bank, right? 9600 watt hybrid power inverter. Very cool. All right, we're going to keep walking around this way. All right. Are you my Brian that I'm looking for? Hey, Brian, Dave Cooper.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, running a little bit late on us for sure.
No problem. I'm here all day.
Brian, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure thing. My name is Brian Rosenthal. I work at National Association of Home Builders. We put this whole thing on here. I'm in charge of the new product zone, and we are displaying all the latest products that came out this past year, and some that are even being showcased and released today. So
there's products that's just going on market today.
Yeah, I mean,
first time seeing it here.
Absolutely, yeah. There are definitely products here that are just being launched today, and they are all commercially available.
They are all commercially available. Mm-hmm. So out of the products here, we looked at some of them. I know you were going to show us, like the Hoover Doors. Do you have one that really stands out that people are just gravitating to?
Yeah, I mean, to me personally, of course, everything is very impressive here. But if I were to say that there was one product that really stood out to me personally, my own opinion, I would have to say Ephoca right over there is a really interesting product. They're also the sponsor of our zone here as well, so
Sure.
We appreciate them. But their product is really interesting. It's a no outdoor unit. It's a heating and AC pump. So it's a whole system. It's great for apartments. They're actually based in Italy, but Ephoca is their U.S. entity here.
So let's do a record scratch there. So you said no outside unit, so there's no air condenser having to be on the outside of the house.
Correct, yeah.
So it'll do AC and heat.
AC and heat, yep.
No kidding.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. We're seeing a lot more of the heat pumps and some of these newer companies come out with this technology. It's quiet too, I bet.
Oh, it's incredibly quiet. I mean, if you stand right there, you can't hear anything. I would challenge you to put your microphone right up there and see what happens, because you're not going to hear anything.
I was just there. It's on? It's actually running?
It's actually running right now. They have it all set up right now. I think it's at 68 degrees, but
yeah, you
can mess around with that. Yeah, you don't hear a thing. You can even put your hand on it. You don't even know it's vibrating or if it is on at all. So
Sure.
An impressive product, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, Brian. Thanks for giving us a little bit of a rundown here. Just overall, the show in itself, is it busier than it's been in the past?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it is one of the busiest shows I've ever been at. This is incredible. The bounce back that we've had from past few years. It is just an incredibly busy show. We're so happy everyone's coming out to check out all of these new products. And we hope it's even busier next year.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking a few minutes and talking to us.
Thank you, Dave.
Really appreciate you. Hey, let's just walk out this way and just go around. We'll look at a few more things, and then we're going to wrap up there. So I'll just follow you, Vince, and we'll go that way. Work our way out of here. All right. Let's see. Let's work our way out. I think what I want to do is I want to walk back here. Let's get out of everybody's way. And then I hope everybody's enjoying the tour of what's happening here at the International Builder Show. Let's just make a right here, Vince. And I want to go just to the left in front of the, there's a pub. Is that a pub? It looks like a pub. Nixbuilding.com looks like a pub. I don't see any bars, though. Let's just go over here. I want to show this barrel sauna thing because it's making me think about how I can relax a little bit after the show. Why don't you stop right between these columns? I'm going to walk around here and get right in front of you. So, look. You know what? We're going to walk down here. I just got in my ear that we have an opportunity to maybe see Black Buffalo at the 3D printing folks while we're here, which would be great to go and see them. So that's going to be straight down. So we got Kodiak rugged. It looks like wall and floor boards, rustic. I could be wrong with that. And then we got some Valor fireplaces. We're going to go to the right this way. Look at the tall wall. What the heck's the tall wall? Quake zone, filler strips, hardware, traditional method, slows productivity. Let me read. I'm reading backwards. Increased productivity, advanced sheathing method. Well, we're going to keep walking straight past it, but we can show it as we're going by. I've not seen a tall wall system before, so really neat. Good. As usual, there's people in here. We're going to make a left here, Vince. You know, here's the other thing you get to see here. You get to see a bunch of railings, shower and faucet. I mean, you got the kitchen and bath show here. You got the hardware show here. There is so much happening here. So we're just going to go straight down all the way to that back door back there, Vince. But to me, it's just amazing that there's still this many people here. Look at the home elevator. Jennifer, I won't have to climb the stairs any longer. That is awesome. It almost looks like one of those tubes you put yourself in at the bank, right? And it shoots you through to wherever you're going. One of my favorite things as well is I want a patio someday that has those fold down doors like you're seeing on the right there. Those are always great to see as well. All right, we're almost there. We're going to get down. We're going down to see Black Buffalo on the right here. Hold on, there they are. I found them. Hey, Peter, what's up?
Good to see you. How are you?
Man, we're winding our way through. I said, I think Black Buffalo's down there. Here, hold that.
Yep.
You're no stranger to my microphone.
Yeah, great to see you again. You know, we kind of scaled down a little bit this year. We want to focus on projects with our 3D construction printers.
Yeah.
But it's been a great turnout for NAHB, and we're really, loving the whole NAHB crew and crowd.
Right.
Yep.
So last year, and again a couple times this year, you actually had an entire machine set up here outside in the zone and printing between the rainstorms we were getting, and it was very successful for you guys. And now you guys are really up and running. You got your new facility open in Pennsylvania.
Yep. Yes.
How's that going?
It's going great. You know, we're keeping local inventory of our printers to make sure they're available to customers that want to use them and have projects that 3D would be good for.
Sure.
So we're going to start doing open houses, and more importantly, we have customers now that are actually printing homes. So we have 2 that are done in Virginia. We have another 8 coming up in Texas, and then we're going to be spreading out throughout the world as well. So there will be a lot in store this year.
Spreading out around the world. Your team's getting pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to grow and recruit people in, and we get tons of interest through the website every day. I mean, we'll probably start up internships soon, so if anyone's interested in learning more about 3D, make sure to reach out through the website, which is bb3d.io.
So, all right, so you have internships, so if you're into technology, if you're into the future of housing, 3D printing, who are your customers, Peter? So if I'm out there and I'm watching this, who am I that would do business with you?
I think it's just developers and builders. A lot of people are learning about the capabilities of 3D and how it actually can coexist with traditional as well.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to do whatever we can to educate everyone from home building organizations to people that put in MEP, just to get them more familiar with how you work on a 3D printed home. And the biggest news, I think, at the end of last year was we finally got AC 509 approval. We're the only company in the world that can print structural walls.
Yeah. And what about the non-believers when it comes to 3D printing? You know, there's that 50-50 split. Is it going somewhere? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think, the ratio of non-believers to believers is completely shrinking the more they see these projects out in the open and in the world. And we're hoping that next year we have enough planning and runway, we bring a printer back and we do something special in Vegas. Well, I think so. I mean, you got some of your product here, Vince. I don't know if you were showing a little bit about that, but right. I mean, that's how the wall system prints out, and I know we were showing a little bit on screen. Yep. Yeah, and we're trying to just show everyone what the capabilities are. Right now, a lot of the projects out there are more pilot projects. So now we're finally starting to get into real big developments with multiple units. Yeah. And really, any big builders that are used to doing big developments, we just ask that you try to 3D print one home in the middle of your project, put it in the marketing budget. I mean, when's the last time that a big developer did a project? Right. And there's an audience and you need bleacher seating and no one's protesting.
You know, that's funny. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a marketing tool as well because it is something that's new. So it will have people come to your community just to see it.
Yeah, and we're more than happy to come out and work with our clients and partners to make sure their projects get done. We have our partner from MAHB here that provides the actual Planetop 3D material.
The aggregate
that's so
and all
important.
that that's in there? Okay, yep.
And it's just been great. So we encourage everyone, if you have questions about 3D, reach out through the website, contact us on social media, and we'll try to address any questions that you have and help you become a 3D construction builder.
There you have it. So did I miss anything? Is there anything you want to say before I wrap it up here?
No, just thanks a lot. I mean, tons of credit to Dave Cooper Live. There's tons of people walking around. You guys have the best audience, and everyone tunes in. They're just legitimate businesses watching, so that's awesome.
I love it. I love it. And I love this company as well, Black Buffalo, and I've got to do this quite a bit with Peter. So we want to give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, ECI Solutions, for helping make all this possible at this trade show. They're in booth 2032 in the West Hall, so definitely you want to go see them. And also Mercer Mass Timber for everything that they do. And if you missed that, it's right at the beginning of this show that we started off at. So I'm Dave Cooper, Peter Cooperman. We're in Black Buffalo's booth. We're going to end it here. You good with ending it here?
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's take it out from there. Thanks, Vince.